youtube.com/openupyourmind101.
You know, a lot of us are under a lot of different pressures, financial pressures, relationship pressures, job pressures. Some people that are dealing with some pressures because now there's some changes that have to be made in their lives. And you've got some people that are dealing with some pressures, not from the things that they're doing now, but from the things that they've done earlier that are causing them to have to deal with the circumstances, with the situations that they're in. So there's a number of different types of pressures. Again, health pressures, medical, body, mind, spirit, all of those different things actually contribute to our pressure, contribute to the things that are going on in our lives and how we deal with those things. But my question to everybody today is, how exactly are you dealing with your pressures? And are those pressures that you're dealing with, are they costing you more than they're worth? Are they actually sapping away the vital energy, the life force that you have? And are they causing you a lot more than they should be? First off, you get a lot of people that say, okay, stress is bad. Well, there's good stress and there's bad stress, and I'm sure that everybody's heard that before. And it's true. And also, it's really not the stress that's the problem. It's how you react to the stress. It's how you deal with the different things that are going on in your life that either add to your stress or subtract from your stress. So again, it comes back to that number one word that nobody seems to want to hear because everybody feels as though they've done it the right way: choice. And your choice is. Many people, because of stress, they're worried about things that they have no intention on actually taking any type of positive direction and changing, because evidently what you truly want is not strong enough to make you do the things you truly need to do. Making those extra phone calls, asking that person for that information that you need, standing up for yourself, allowing yourself to constantly go through the slings and arrows when we're not in a war. This isn't a battle. This isn't combat. Most of us are stressed because we don't know how to talk to our kids. Our kids don't know how to talk to us. Well, how about we start with listening, and then from that listening, we can move to the next level. Then we've got people that just are listening, but they're having so much of a conversation inside their head. They're having so much self-talk inside their head that they're not hearing what the other person is saying. Why? Because they're hearing it through a filter. They're not getting the information pure. They're getting the information through somebody else's interpretation of it. And sometimes that person that's misinterpreting the information that they're getting is them. That's a real major problem. If I'm talking to you about one thing and you're wrapping your mind around trying to get, why am I talking about this particular subject? And does this have to do with something that happened last week, last month, last year? I was talking to somebody that's actually very close to me recently, and I asked them why did they do something. And I know I'm not going to get the story straight, but the gist is the same. I asked them why they did something, and the person threw back at me because I did something to them 20 plus years ago. That's scary. And why is that scary? Because that means that in that person's mind, because they either didn't have an appropriate answer for why they did what they did, or they were looking for some justification or some excuse to make what they did right, they came up with something that evidently has been in their mind for 20 plus years. Ladies and gentlemen, we can't operate like that. We can't function like that. We're causing undue stress in our relationships, and those relationships don't have to be intimate. In our relationships on all levels, we're talking business, we're talking in our churches, our religious congregations, we're talking in our social interactions with our clubs, our organizations, our children, our parents, our great-grandparents, all of those different things. All of these factors all come into one ball, and that one ball is you. And your perception of what happened 20 years ago between you and your grandmother or grandfather, or their interpretation of what happened to them with their parent or other person in the family, weighs on all of us. It actually has an effect, and that effect is what's generated us to be the individuals that we are, and them to become the individuals that they are. So it's a domino effect. Do we, as mature adults, want to break that cycle? Because in most cases, that cycle is a cycle of negativity. Long time ago, back when you defended yourself with a club, because there were no guns, there were no cars, there was no gasoline that you could use, there were no petroleum products, there were no plastics, there were no all these modern and new things that we have today. There weren't computers, there weren't, all of these other gadgets that we now have to make our lives easier. We worked on a fight or flight type of mentality. You saw something that you knew could rip you apart, you ran, or you stood your ground and you fought. We're no longer hunter-gatherers in the sense of the primitive time of hunter-gatherers. We're still hunter-gatherers in a way, but now, as somebody said before, when you want something, you go to your refrigerator. When you want some dead animal flesh, you go to your grocery store and then you pick the dead animal flesh that you want. And for a price, somebody else has already tracked it down. They've gathered it, they've slaughtered it, they've skinned it, they've processed it, now they've packaged it, and now they're selling it to you. So things have changed. However, a lot of us are trying to use the primitive side to dictate the non-primitive world that we live in. And I'm not saying that some people can't be animals, but what I'm saying is that in your day-to-day life, that fight or flight scenario doesn't really apply. However, in your body, it still exists. However, we've taken that and we've manifested that into other things. You know, we get anxiety when somebody challenges us. First off, please, let's try to come back to the fact that your job is important. You need to be able to support yourself. So really your job isn't important. Your ability to be able to support yourself is important. However, before you started that job, all right, and when I say you had another job, I'm not just talking about a job that you're paid to do. I'm talking about your overall responsibilities in the society that we live in. Each of those things is a job. Each of those things is part of the evolution of you learning, developing, growing, all of those things. Don't let factors that you can't control you. You control you. You pick whether something is going to be a plus or a negative. Your perceptions, your beliefs, everything that you do is based on what you presently know. If you don't like your position, leave your position. If you don't like your job, leave your job. If you're around negative people that don't make you grow, remove yourself from those negative people. Is it going to take time? Yes. Is it going to take effort? Yes. Is it going to take some responsibility from you? Yes. Is it going to take some adjustment? Yes. Is there going to be some growing pains? Yes. But are they worth it? Yes. Those things are going to help you develop. I constantly run into people that want to take a minor and make it a major. Those are people that, even if we love them, we have to kind of step back. Why? Because if we don't step back, then what happens is that we play into that programmed negativity. And as the Riddler said on the Joker, if you kill them, they ain't going to learn nothing. So you can't kill them. You can't beat them down. You need to understand that you're going to accept what you're going to accept. And then from there, move on and try to find ways to deal with it. And hopefully with time and with the same amount of caring that you have for them, hopefully they have for you, they'll start to get it and they'll start to learn. Also remember, for all of those that are somewhat like me, that are usually very calm, people that aren't very calm, you being calm flips their trigger. Don't try to figure it out. It's just the way it is. But also understand that you being calm is a choice and them having their trigger switched is a choice. There's no one way to deal with any one personality. How do you control yourself to make sure that things change? Again, if it's to the point to where it's totally toxic and it's never going to work, then you can't change it. It's time to, pick up your rucksack and just walk away. Is stress and tension killing you? And how is it killing you? It's killing you because it takes a lot of that energy out of you, a lot of that essence of life, a lot of those things that you need and I need to actually continue. But again, it's up to you. Are you not prepared? Being disorganized. If you clean your room up and then when you come home, you just put your stuff away, then you won't have to keep cleaning your room. If you put structure in your life, then you won't have that stress. Dealing with other people's problems while not maintaining or handling your own can become overwhelming. The story that Gail talks about is there's this gentleman that's in almost his 60s. He's in his 60s. And early 60s. And what he ended up doing was he came to this country not speaking any English, not having any education. Well, now he's a multimillionaire. He now has a degree and a master's. He now runs about 5 to 7 different businesses. And if you ask him, does he have any time, he'll tell you that he has all the time he needs. Well, why does he have all the time he needs? He has all the time he needs because he has realized that he can care of those foundational things and everything else will fall in place. He has time because he takes time to put the things that are important first. And what some people would say was, of course he's got time. He's a multimillionaire. Well, he didn't start out that way. When he got to the United States, he didn't speak English. When he got to the United States, he had, I believe it was $37 to his name. Well, here we are fast forwarding forward. Now he's a multimillionaire. When he was going to school full time while he was working 10-hour days at the dock, most people would have said he didn't have time. When he was taking care of his family responsibilities and basically creating his legacy, but this guy found time. If you're miserable, that's your choice. If you're unhappy, that's your choice. If you wake up with an attitude in the morning, that's your choice. If you wake up and find something wrong with everything, that's your choice. If you find yourself driving and you're angry, that's your choice. If you find yourself in a job that you can't stand, that is your choice. If you feel as though you don't have enough money in your pocket, then that means you need to change some of the things that you're doing and understand that over time you'll get the result that you want to get, but there's going to be times when you need to make some adjustments. There is no perfect path to success. The path you choose is, again, your choice. You know, the other day I was talking about the fact that last month I donated some stuff to some people, but I was impressed with the fact that I did it. So that's good. I did what I said I was going to do. The fact that the people that I sent it to may have not appreciated it in a way that I thought was appropriate is irrelevant, because I did it for me. And in lessons, by me doing it for me, I also ended up doing something for somebody else. I also talked about the day before yesterday, I donated a case of probably about 300 books to a third world country. Why? Because I was in the position to do it. And then yesterday, I donated another almost $1,000 worth of stuff. Well, now, Blog Talk, what I need to realize and what I need to work on doing, and I suggest this for anybody if you think about it, is what is it that you're in the position to do, and what positions would you be in that were better and would enable you to do more if you made some changes in your life? Because that's the dilemma that I'm dealing with now. The dilemma that I'm dealing with now is I wish I was in the position. I wish I had found ways to work harder and work smarter so that I was in the position to do more. Be a giver. Be a person that wants to do more and is in a position to do more. Even if you can't do more, do what you can. Don't look for a thank you. Don't look for a pat on the back. Understand that you're not just doing it for them, you're also doing it for you. As long as what you're doing is the right thing, believe in yourself, do what you know is right, and continue to do it again and again and again, no matter what anybody else does. It doesn't make you any better by waiting for someone else to give you approval or to stop because somebody else does. Take that energy and put it into somebody that is, and somebody that's going to do the same thing that you did and help another person and then help another. Anyway, I want to thank you for listening. Remember, you have all the time you need, and nobody has any more than 24 hours a day. So do the best that you can. Take care, be well, and again, as always, I am humbled and thankful that you continue to listen. Please share the show with other people because we're always looking to grow. Take care and be well.
youtube.com/openupyourmind101